Sony's decision to stop printing physical media has had an overpowering effect on the gaming space. People have been flooding their social media with their dismay, but Sony has yet to acknowledge it and continues to post, hoping for the storm to pass. I can't speak for how everyone feels, but I'm assuming Sony will not reverse this decision. I'd love to be wrong, but just based on all available information, they stand to make too much money if they just release digitally. Not only from printing discs, but creation of cases, packaging, tariffs and shipping, and even retail cuts. They would eliminate all of that, as well as get rid of a major method that games leak early, all for just the cost of maintaining a server. I would love for this to age poorly, but it's just the future that I see. So I've very easily come to the decision that this will be my last PlayStation. This generation, I've been buying most of my games on the PS5 for the sole reason that their physical media can hold 100 gigabytes compared to Microsoft's 50 gigabyte discs, or Nintendo's 64 gigabyte cartridges. That makes most games play right off the disc on PS5. Just go to doesitplay.org and check PS5 in comparison to the Xbox Series X. It is just the platform to go for physical media. Now that they're losing that advantage, I fail to see why I should buy games from them. Steam has better sales, AI disclosures, Steam input so I can use any controller I want, better reviews and refund policies, mod support, family sharing, free online, and higher fidelity gaming. GOG lets me play games DRM free, so I don't have to care about servers going down as long as I back up my games. Epic Games gives me free games without paying for a subscription. Digitally, Xbox gives me access to game on Xbox and PC, with free cloud saves. Nintendo has true physical media, but even if we're talking in a digital-only scenario, I have the option to take my games on the go with them. I can't think of even one advantage the PlayStation Store has. In fact, it's even worse with how often they get hacked. Their one advantage was their physical media, which, with them getting rid of, I don't know why I'd ever buy a game from them when literally every other digital storefront is better. I'm not above buying digital games. I play on PC and love my Steam Deck, but when it comes to single-player games, I prefer to buy them physically. Most single-player games, I've opted for console to play in the living room, getting a physical copy and actually owning the game. If Sony wants me to only buy games digitally, that's fine. I'll just do it anywhere besides their store because they don't meet the standard for a digital storefront for me. For those who have convinced yourselves that this digital switch is a good thing, do you really think Sony's variable pricing on their store is a sign of good things coming for you? For those who don't know, Sony is currently testing making prices different for each PlayStation account to try to get the most money out of everyone as possible, just by analyzing their spending habits. This means that a game might show up as costing $70 on a more enthusiast account, but could show up as $40 on a more casual account. If you do love PlayStation games, then this will only be detrimental to you, and be beneficial to those who aren't loyal to the brand. Compare that to Black Friday sales at a store where everyone gets the discount, and there really isn't any argument of how this could be good for you. I've been saying for years that once they stop giving me an option for physical media, I'm done with consoles. I think the only company that would have a stranglehold on me hard enough to make me even consider sticking with them is Nintendo. Sony doesn't have an equivalent to a Xenoblade or a Fire Emblem to me. If Persona and Final Fantasy VII were still exclusive, then maybe we could talk PlayStation 6. But as it stands, I don't care enough about Intergalactic or God of War to get a whole system for those that can't play them on a disc. We're in another era of arrogant Sony that we witnessed at the start of the PS3. They think their games are must-plays and their systems are just ones everyone will get. I love myself a third-person adventure game, but there are so many of those that come out on every platform that I'm fine missing yours, Sony. Even if I were to get a PS6, there will never be another Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, or Ape Escape on it. We might get one Ratchet game on the PS6 generation, and as much as I'd want to play another, I'll be fine without it. I can't actually own it on a system, and that will probably be over $1,000. If that's the case, why would I not be buying my games on PC where I have a choice and every store is superior to yours? A baffling part of this whole change to me is who Sony is trying to appeal with this, and they're not going to be receptive to it. What I mean by that is a large portion of gamers have been sticking with the PS4 and Xbox One because it plays all the games they need them to. If you only play sports games, Call of Duty, Fortnite, and Roblox, why get a PS6? They're all still content with their PS4s. So even if they do need a PS5 for something they want to play, like GTA 6, they'll be fine with just sticking with that. It's these gamers that Sony's been trying so hard to appeal to this whole generation. The whole reason we have canceled live service games that have led to no games coming out this generation, and people feeling like it hasn't even started yet. Their cut on V-Bucks just isn't enough. The only audience that had any chance of getting a super expensive, hobbyist device like the PlayStation 6 are people that are really into the hobby. People who actually care about a variety of games, care about the medium, and want to experience what the generation has to offer. But this digital push has alienated so much of the enthusiast crowd. I have a PS5 Pro, a PS4 Pro, a new 3DS XL. I'm the type who would shell out the cash for upgrades and love to see what new experiences I could have on it. But now I'm out of next gen, with electronic prices going through the roof and people fairly satisfied with how games look currently. The next generation was always going to have a low adoption rate. Now I'd expect it to be far lower. The ones who would have bought it are the people making videos and posting on social media about their disappointment. I estimate they lost most of what little audience the PS6 was going to have. Sony is not ready to get rid of physical media. Their store is objectively the worst of all its competitors. And with next generation going to cost more than ever, it makes us as customers more selective on where we spend our money. We all have to draw the line somewhere on what we'll accept. And maybe the PS6 being digital is acceptable to you, and that's fine. I was fully expecting the next generation of Xbox to be digital only. But if they do add a physical option and an upgrade where discs might be able to hold more modern games, then that's where I'll be. Nintendo's games fully on the cartridge and Xbox games fully on discs are where my purchases will be going forward for single-player games. Once it's 2028, there will be no reason for me to buy games for my PS5. That is where I draw the line. If they want me as a customer, I need a disc.